right across Australia. This is Sunrise on 7. Now, live from Brekkie Central, Nat and Sherva.
Good morning. Oh, the sounds of Australia. Welcome to Sunrise. Thank you for joining us. Happy hump, everyone. We are celebrating a Brisbane icon this morning because Bluey is now the top dog of American TV.
Yeah, that's right. Our much-loved television show has come in at #1, beating every other US series. We'll reveal what it all means soon.
But first this morning, Melbourne's Gangland war is threatening to explode after the execution-style murder of Sam the Punisher Abdulrahim. Live to Tegan Doling. Tegan, the former bikie enforcer was gunned down in front of his girlfriend.
He was, Nat, and he was absolutely a marked man. Police had tried to warn Sam Abdulrahim of the attempted hits on his life, but even his friends had told him to perhaps head overseas. He was living a marked life, and he was actually almost living in hiding because he actually only checked into that apartment 24 hours earlier. Yesterday morning, 10:30, he was walking through the underground car park with his girlfriend when he was gunned down.
Very, very traumatic situation. She's very, very upset. So our investigators are speaking to her, and she's doing what she can at this stage to, assist us as best she can in very trying circumstances.
The 32-year-old has a really long list of enemies. We know of at least 2 botch attempts on his life before. In 2022, he was shot 8 times when he was leaving a Faulkner cemetery. He was also had 17 shots actually fired at him at the front of his Thomastown home, and that was in May last year. Now, he's also been potentially muscling in on the illicit tobacco war. We know a number of gyms associated to him have been firebombed. So the police have got a very big job ahead of him to find out who the gunmen are. It looks like his family are pointing to one person in particular. We know he's had a long-running feud with the Middle Eastern figure Kazem Hamad. His sister actually alluding online. She's put up a post saying, "I know it's you, Kazdog. It never ends here." And Nat, I suppose that's what the big fear is here in Victoria at the moment. Perhaps there could be retaliation attacks, and God forbid there is a member of the public that is caught up in this.
Yep, you're right. That is a serious feud, isn't it? Thank you, Tegan. Here's Sherva.
A Queensland social media influencer accused of drugging her infant daughter for fame will today learn if she'll walk free from court on bail. Let's go live to Georgie Chumley in Brisbane. Georgie, evidence shared in court there has been shocking.
Good morning, Shervo. That's right. This is a case that has really shocked the country. A mum alleged to have drugged her own daughter for money as well as fame online. Now, we heard more of those shocking police allegations in court yesterday, and police say that the mum was caught on CCTV in a hospital allegedly drugging her daughter, saying that she was fiddling with the child's nasogastric tube under a blanket, holding a syringe, and then 40 minutes later, that child was unconscious. Police also said that 18 milligrams of an anticonvulsant drug was found in that little girl's system, and that 25 milligrams is the lethal dose for a child. Now, prosecutors don't dispute that the child had a brain condition, but say that the mum manufactured symptoms to make her daughter even more sick. And today, as you said, she will face court again to find out whether she is granted bail. Her lawyer put forward 5 different addresses yesterday because of the intense media and public scrutiny on this case. So as for that little girl, though, at this stage we understand that she is doing well and not in the custody of either of her parents.
OK, well, that's some good news. Thank you, Georgie.
With more news, here's Eddie.
Thank you, Nat. Peter Dutton might have the latest polling behind him, but he's facing an uphill battle if he wants to become Australia's next Prime Minister. Let's go live to Taylor Aitken in Canberra for us. Morning to you, Taylor. The opposition leader says WA will be key to making him Prime Minister.
Yes, this will be a classic battle of the West, a typical Labor stronghold, but somewhere Peter Dutton believes he can change voters' minds. Peter Dutton and Anthony Albanese continuing on their pre-election blitz of key seats across the country, with polling experts believing while the coalition is strong in regional and rural areas, for there to be any chance of a Peter Dutton win, momentum will need to transfer to those urban and outer urban seats in places like Sydney and Melbourne. But every seat will be critical in this election win, with the 7 News election needle examining polling and voter sentiment. Right now, edging towards a Labor minority win, but it is still a toss-up. So despite being slightly ahead on the polls, there is still plenty of work for Peter Dutton to do.
Thank you, Taylor. Melbourne detectives are searching for two men after they allegedly stole over $40,000 from a St Albans woman. Let's go live to Andrew McCormack, who's in Melbourne for us. Andrew, this is a shocking loss for this lady.
Oh, just absolutely heartbreaking, Eddie. A woman had her credit card details stolen via an online payment app. These two thieves then rang up a $40,000 credit card bill, shopping for things like mobile phones and jewellery here in the Brunswick area. Police have released this CCTV images of the pair they believe they need to speak to. This comes as AMP Bank in Australia becomes the first bank here down under to introduce numberless credit cards. Customers will have the option of receiving a token, a one-time token for each purchase. That will essentially put these scammers out of business, because once that one-time token is used for each purchase, it then becomes useless. MasterCard also, interestingly, wants to bring in numberless credit cards and get rid of that 16-digit number we all have on our credit and debit cards by the end of 2030. They'll instead bring in one of these one-time tokens and some facial recognition software or other biometrics each time we shop. So we could see some changes very soon about just every purchase we make that could put these scammers out of business once and for all. We'll speak to an expert from MasterCard on Sunrise coming up later this morning, Eddie.
Yeah, it's certainly a big change. Lots to discuss about that. Thank you, Macca. City councils are calling for a crackdown on e-bikes and food delivery drivers who are illegally riding on footpaths across the city. Line to Liam Tapper now. Liam, they say dangerous behaviour is putting pedestrians at risk.
Yeah, it's certainly that is what these councils are saying, Eddie. And you may recognise these electric bikes that you see pop up around Sydney in many suburbs. Well, they're allowed to park here on the footpath, but if I take you over here, they're not allowed to ride here. But we're seeing a growing number of people riding their e-bikes, mainly food delivery drivers. They're driving at speed on footpaths, and it's led to many councils saying enough is enough. We need more to be done and them to be kicked off the footpath and taken back out here onto the road where it is legal for them to be riding. And also, new figures have come out that these councils say more needs to be done by police, because in the past financial year, there was only 12 people right around New South Wales that were booked for illegally riding on the footpath. And these fines are only $136 each. So, yes, police have got other jobs and many, many other jobs than just booking poor old e-bike riders. However, more councils, they want these people off the streets because, as one councillor has called them, they are simply a menace to society. Eddie?
That's strong. Thank you so much for that, Liam. Now, we're on VIE watch this morning. That's very important elephant, with South Australia's newest jumbo-sized resident expecting to arrive at her new home this morning. Live to Hayden Nelson at the Monarto Safari Park. Morning to you, Hayden. It's been a very long journey for Permai, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly has, Eddie, but from all accounts, the journey has been very smooth for the VIE, and the finishing touches are being put on her new home here at the Monarto Safari Park this morning. It has been a 3,000-kilometre mammoth journey from Perth Zoo here to SA, to Adelaide, and then to the Monarto Safari Park. The latest update we've had is that they reached Port Augusta a couple of hours ago, which means it's about a few hours before Permai will make it down to Adelaide, and then about half an hour more before reaching the Safari Park. And you can expect there'll be plenty of elephant fans here, but we are on elephant time. There could be a few stops along the way just to make sure she's comfortable, but so far she's been fed things like watermelon, peanut butter sandwiches through a little porthole in her specially designed crate, CCTV cameras which have been monitoring her. They look like she's travelling well. They look like she's very comfortable in there from all the vision that the keepers have been watching as part of that convoy. So, look, we're very excited to have the VIE here. She'll relax, settle in, maybe put her feet up, have a drink and maybe a couple of peanuts before meeting Burma, her new flatmate, and then, of course, the rest of the herd who are expected to join by the end of the year.
Oh, look at that tub of peanut butter. Thank you so much, Hayden. Can't wait for that. Well, here's a tough one for some of our older viewers this morning. A UN study has suggested the idea of women being drawn to older men as attractive is actually a myth. Oh. The study looked at more than 6,000 single men and women aged between 25 and 85, so pretty broad, who went on more than 4,000 blind dates. The chances that the dates would want to meet again were higher if the partner was younger. So women preferring a younger man. And of all the important work the UN is doing, that's right up there, isn't it? Yeah, that's right up there.
That is key. Classic UN.
Aid work around the world plus that study.
Yes.
It's all about international happiness, I guess, right?
Yeah, yes.
We've got a bit of spare time next Tuesday. We'll do a study on dating.
Exactly right.
And let's take a moment for all the older men, you know, because I feel sad about that. What are they going to do?
Those lonely older men.
Is that a long enough moment?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Okay, moving on.
Okay, let's go.
Wow,
What
crickets.
happened? I miss it. Let's go check 'em